Okay, totally new to this. Our first actual, our first actual video that's out of something posted to the We Belong Dead YouTube channel. So this is something we're going to try to do every week. That's called mystery reviews, I suppose would be a good way to put it. After our last podcast, my co-pilot Ian went through my collection of horror soundtracks and scores on record and on vinyl, and went through my collection of horror Blu-rays and DVDs. And without me knowing what he chose, he put them, I think he picked like 3 of each. He put them in this handy Death Waltz Mondo shipping box. And this is where they have been for about a week. I haven't peeked. I don't know what they are. So the point of this ridiculous exercise is that you will get snap. Oh, I can't snap. There we go. Snap reviews on each thing that I pull out, whether you should check them out, whether they're, if, a certain taste would like them, if they're for everyone, that type of thing. Again, this is the first thing we've really done, so it's very raw. There's very little editing. I'm a little nervous, as you might be able to tell. I haven't done anything like this in a very long time. But we definitely want more people checking out We Belong Dead, our podcast. So, I guess let's just get to it. And for now, I'm going to be off camera. I was looking around YouTube, and I did think to myself, what does YouTube need more of? And the obvious answer is fat dudes talking about horror movies on camera. So maybe I'll graduate up to that, but for now it's just going to be my fat hands and my fat fingers opening up whatever Ian has chosen for me to review for you. So I guess we'll go movie record. We'll go back and forth like that. So let me move the box down here. I'm also not going to peek as I pull, so I can't be thinking ahead. Alright, so the first movie that he's chosen, a fantastic flick. Oh man, the glare. The glare is going to do us in. Ravenous. This is an awesome movie. This is a fairly early Scream Factory release, I believe. This came out in a weird time where people were getting a lot of opportunities to just put on film what they want and put it out there. It's like around the turn of the century. I can't believe I'm able to say that. But, I believe it was 1999. David Arquette is in this. I know he doesn't star in it, but he is who I always think of. There's the discard. He's who I always think of when I think of this film. And of course with Scream Factory you always get the reversible art. I wasn't a big fan of that art. I think that's the original art. David Arquette, Jeffrey Jones, who I know there's some controversy surrounding Jeffrey Jones. Don't judge the art by the artist, I guess, that type of thing, because he's a phenomenal actor. Robert Carlyle, who's the other? There's the main guy, Guy Pearce. This is a great cannibal story. I want to say it takes place. It's been so long since I've seen this movie. I want to say it takes place in the settler times. The settler times. That's really putting it out there. Really getting it right. Like we say on the podcast, we aren't experts. We are not Joe Bob Briggs. Although you can check out an amazing interview that he gave us about 90 minutes on this very channel We Belong Dead podcast. Download the podcast as well. Take it with you. You're going to love it. But yeah, they're like in the wilderness, like Sierra Nevada type area. And crazy shit goes down and they resort to cannibalism. Wow, this is why I didn't want to do these, because I'm sounding like everyone that I hate on YouTube. Everyone that I hate watch on YouTube is just like, yeah, I think it's this, I think it's that. Oh, I knew I was taking a chance. But like, yeah, if you like, I don't want to say campy, but it's like this. It really is kind of a movie unto itself. I can't compare it to anything. It is a cannibal movie. It is a an action movie in some ways. The performances around the board are amazing. Some of them are unhinged, but I would recommend this movie for anyone. Wow. Anyone who is a horror fan. In the future, I will fix this glare issue, and we will get a little more professional about this. Oh, that's terrible. Anyway, Ravenous from Scream Factory. Check it out. I think you will dig it. Alright, up next we'll pull out a record. And what do we have? Salem's Lot. Salem's Lot. Beautiful release from Waxwork Records. A beautiful multicolored pressing there. And this is a double LP with a gatefold cover. The complete score, I believe. Just beautiful, eerie creepiness. If you've seen Salem's Lot, you know exactly what you're getting into with this score. And if you haven't seen Salem's Lot, I'm not sure what your problem is. Oh man, let me maybe this will at least help. Yeah, maybe a little bit. I've started sleeving all of my records because I'm that kind of a nerd. We're probably going to need to start getting a wider shot of these two. So, yeah, what is that from? Let's see. Oh, is it? It is that. I didn't think that was going to be a problem. Okay, so, yeah, and then the gatefold. Waxwork is just amazing. They just do incredible work all around. I'm actually, at the moment, I am, and they put their little sticker on everything. I always try to save it and put it somewhere on the record because I'm also that kind of nerd. You can't go wrong with Waxwork, man. They put so much love into what they do. And this cover, I believe, is Francavilla. I think that's how you pronounce it. He's done some work for Mondo as well. I really like his style. And that, one of the earliest nightmares of many of our youths there at the window. Soundtrack by Harry Suckman. Directed by the great, I'll say unsung Tobe Hooper. Anybody that knows me knows that I go to bat for that guy more than any other director because he deserves more than he gets. So, yeah. Like I was saying, I'm currently waiting on the original Friday the 13th score from Waxwork and 3 from Hell. I don't think, because I think I remembered seeing them back where my records are. I don't think he chose House of a Thousand Corpses or Devil Rejects, but those came in not too long ago, and they're just as gorgeous as everything that Waxwork puts out. So, Salem's Lot, maybe not for everyone. If you love Salem's Lot, then definitely, maybe I should stop doing that part where I'm like, who is this for? It's for, if you want it, it's for you. How about that? So, there you go. That's Salem's Lot. The next movie we have. I love this movie. Tourist Trap. And thanks to a friend of the podcast, Joe Bob Briggs, this movie has started seeing a bit of a resurgence lately. I hate to say that, unfortunately, because I do love Full Moon, but I'm not the biggest fan of their releases, if that makes any sense. I feel like they could put a lot more work into their Blu-rays. But this is number 3 of their releases, whatever that means. I think they were just trying to get, Charlie Band. He's just, people love Criterion. What are they doing different? Oh, they number them? Then let's do that. Instead of putting all the care that you should put into it. Anyway, maybe just people disagree with me. But anyway, Joe Bob kind of brought this back, or brought this into, for the first time for a lot of people, the spotlight by making it the first film they watched in the original last drive-in marathon. That if you haven't seen it, oh my God, you have Shudder. That's a whole rant that I could go on. Shudder. I signed up for it for Joe Bob Briggs, but I have stayed because they are doing amazing things on that streaming service. And for that price, if you're a horror fan and you don't have Shudder, shame on you. Big time shame on you, because Shudder is where it's at, man. Tourist Trap, if you haven't seen it, wow, how do you describe Tourist Trap? It's a lighthearted romp in the vein of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It gives you that sort of, those kinds of feels on the inside. I am so sorry about the glare, guys. No interior artwork, of course, it's Full Moon. There's the disc. I mean, I'll say it's not a horrible release. I think it could look better. I believe there's some missing footage that either has been found or definitely should be found and thrown back in here. But you do get a commentary track with the director, David Schmoller. And I'm a commentary track junkie, so I highly recommend listening to that. But yeah, Chuck Connors as a crazed fucking, desert loon who runs a wax museum called Slosson's Lost Oasis that is holding a lot more secrets than it would seem, including his brother. But yeah, from the beginning, this movie just punches you in the brain and doesn't let go. It's so fucking good. If you came here for in-depth reviews, came to the wrong place. I'm just kind of telling you what I think of these movies. And if you look at that cover, man, if you can look at that cover. I'm so sorry about the glare. The chick in the lens. Ooh. That tagline is so ominous. Every year, young people disappear. That's it. There's nothing else to it. There's no and then they get found, or any. There's no. It's just you deal with this every year. Young people disappear. Enjoy your hour and a half, and you will. Chuck Connors is a standout in this film. So glad he picked that. I got to watch Tourist Trap with Ian for his first time, and that was a lot of fun. I think we're also going to try to start doing these with Ian as well. Certainly with the movies, as his record collection increases, we'll do some of those too with him. But yeah, I'm going to make him do some of these as well. Yeah. Back to another record. Take it out of the protective nerd sleeve. And, man, a lot of these records I don't really have much to say about other than, if you love the movie, then you're going to want the record. But, that's definitely the case with this one. I picked this up at, Horrifying. What fucking decade is this? At Scares That Care this year. It's it's one of my favorite movies. Scream Factory is about to put out a super duper release of it with a ton of features, including, I can't wait to hear the commentary track moderated by by oh my god, why can't I should have done this when I was in a better headspace with Joe. You know, Joe from the movie Crypt with Adam and Joe. It's Adam Green and Joe Lynch. Joe Lynch, because Joe Lynch, if you've ever seen an interview or heard an interview with him, always points to this film as the movie that made him want to get into making films. Have you figured it out yet? I grabbed it at the Vinegar Syndrome booth, though they did not put it out. It is from 1988. It is Chuck Russell's masterpiece, as far as I'm concerned, the remake of The Blob. Oh, and that glare is really doing its fucking job on this one. The Blob. What do you say about this, man? Like I said, if you love the movie, you're gonna love the soundtrack. It's just as like the Blob remake for me is in like a compartment of horror that everyone can kind of go to and just pull out when they need it. It's sort of like you know how you have those movies that when you get sick, you know, bundle up in bed and throw that movie on. That's kind of how The Blob is, and the soundtrack is the same way. It's the soundtrack and the film are like singularly their own thing. I don't think any soundtrack sounds like this. I don't think any film plays out like this. It's so good, and until recently so underrated. It is just a single LP. There's no gatefold, but it is a very pretty splattered purple and pink wax. So there you got the back cover. I shouldn't even post this with that glare. Yeah, but this is released from One Way Static Records. I don't know a lot of their stuff. I happened to see this at Scares That Care. I've recently been kind of searching out more vinyl reissue horror people, you know, because Waxwork and Death Waltz Mondo kind of own that right now, but there's some other companies out there doing some pretty cool stuff. The Blob, and I have the Twilight Time release Blu-ray of the Blob, and that's great. It has a really wonderful, charming commentary track with Chuck Russell and Ryan Turek, who I happen to respect a great deal, and a couple of other things. But this Scream Factory release is just loaded with stuff, so I'm really looking forward to that. All right, our final film tonight is you know, I might catch some shit for this. It's Bob Clark's Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. You're invited to Orville's coming out party. It'll be a scream. Yours. Look, I like this movie. VCI put this Blu-ray out. It looks good. It's a really good transfer, as good a transfer as you can get for Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. Here's the interior. It came with a couple of really nice inserts. This little like mini poster, and then some of VCI's other releases. They put out a really great White Zombie, really great Dark Star, Night of the Scarecrow. Overtime, that's an underrated kind of comedy horror flick. Their version of Dark Star, though, is fantastic, and I'm really glad I picked that up when I did. And then we have a little booklet with, a little essay about the film from reviewer Mike Kinney from Mike's Pop Culture Playhouse. So enjoy that. Again, we have a reversible sleeve. I don't know, I just kind of like the other one a little more. First time doing this, guys, alright? So please bear with me. They will get better as they go, I promise. Look, children shouldn't play with dead things. It's fine. It's a weird gypsy hippie improv theatrical group out on an island for a party. They jokingly resurrect the dead, then they do resurrect the dead. All hell breaks loose. It's fine. It's fine. It's definitely worth watching. I have it in my collection. It's definitely worth having in your collection. I don't know. It doesn't hit me the way it does a lot of other people. If I'm going to go Bob Clark, I'm going to go. It's not horror, but I'm going to go Porky's, or I'm going to go Black Christmas, definitely. And then third, I guess I would do Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. It's good. It's just it's a movie that doesn't make a lot of sense. And I guess maybe if I would just give in to that, which I have for other films. So what's my problem with Old Orville here? Maybe I'll give it another viewing in the next week, and on the next podcast, let you guys know if there's been any change. So that's a nice pull though for me, and that was out of left field. Did not see that coming. All right, and last but not least, last but last but least, probably, is another record. Which honestly I don't have a ton to say about because I haven't gotten a chance to spin it yet, but I can comment based on the film itself. Son of a bitch. I can't believe Ian chose Spookies. Music composed by Ken Higgins and James Calabrese. You know what? Maybe it's great. The film is... wow, okay, so I can't believe I was just, giving Bob Clark shit for this movie not making sense. Spookies makes zero sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. And as far as I know, it hasn't had an official or decent release. I think maybe it did on DVD at one point, but we're still waiting on a Blu-ray. This is out. I also picked this up at Scares the Carrot, also from the Vinegar Syndrome booth, but not put out by. And also, I picked up a lot of Vinegar Syndrome films from their booth, so I didn't just use them for their record collection. I picked up 8 or 10 of their releases that I'm sure we'll get to at some point down the road. But Spookies is a movie that kind of on purpose doesn't make sense. Everything changed every few days during filming. Everything, meaning the script, the plot, the actors. It's a very hard film to keep up with. I haven't seen it in a very long time. And to be completely honest, I don't remember the score. I hope it's a wonderful score that will knock my fucking socks off. I'll be like, yeah, fuck yeah, the Spookies. But yeah, like I was saying earlier with branching out to other companies that are doing horror soundtracks, this is from TerrorVision, and they're doing some really wonderful stuff. They just recently put out Pet Sematary 2 on vinyl. They put out Pontypool, which I haven't picked up yet, but I need to. And I have a couple of other releases of theirs. They did is it WNUF Halloween special? I think that's the call letters. I can't remember, but you know what I'm talking about, if you know what I'm talking about. Which that's great. And the Unsolved Mysteries collection, they put that out, and my buddy Justin gave me that for Christmas. But it's a beautifully put together package. It's one LP, but it's got the style of artwork and the strange nonsensical, none of this adds up artwork makes total sense for the film. It does have a gatefold, but it is just one record. It does have liner notes, and it's kind of a split blue splatter and black vinyl. You got the skull there on that side, and then the Spookies on that side. Oh goodness. Once again, first time doing this guy. Oh, is that me? No, look away. So he threw me for a curve on those last two. Son of a bitch. I thought we were friends. So, I'm not bragging. I've actually gone into debt to have such a collection. But I will say I do have quite a collection of movies and records. So If you guys like this, we'll keep doing it. And like I said, it'll get better. There won't be the glare. I'll have a much better setup, and I won't be quite as nervous or rambly. This is going about 30 minutes, so let's just go over everything. Spookies soundtrack. I can't recommend or say stay away or warn you about because, like I said, I haven't had a chance to sit down and actually listen to it. The Blob, all things Chuck Russell's The Blob remake are good. So that's a yes. I definitely say pick this up. Salem's Lot, like I said, you can't go wrong with anything Waxwork. You can't go wrong with, I don't think, and I know this is an arguable point, I don't think you can go wrong with anything Toby Hooper. And also, you know, if you don't know Salem's Lot or you're not a huge fan or whatever, if you just want some cool, spooky, atmospheric music for Halloween or like a Halloween party, or, you know, if you're a freak who just likes spooky music, which is fine. Also great for that. You know, you don't have to, you can get it just because you dig the music. You don't have to really know the source material. But I highly recommend the source material. Salem's Lot is fucking killer. On top of that, we have Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things by Bob Clark. I'm going to give it another shot, and I'm going to let you get, especially with Ian pulling out the spookies. That son of a bitch really just kind of negated everything I said about Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. So I will give this another shot. It's been quite a while since I've seen it. And listen to the podcast to find out if I've changed my tune on that. Tourist Trap. David Schmoller. His classic. Man, that's just so creepy. Waxwork also put out the soundtrack to this. I've got that. Hopefully we'll get to that at some point because the artwork on it is haunting and terrifying. Tourist Trap I cannot recommend more highly. It's a wonderful double feature with the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So get on that if you haven't seen it. Ravenous, I'm sorry that I didn't say more about you. I think you are wonderful for what it's worth. Why am I not sure who directed this? Get your shit together, me. Antonia Bird. Okay, I'm not familiar with who that is or what else they've done, but yeah, I love especially going back and looking at older Scream Factory releases. I want to say this was in the first 2 years that they were out, but they lovingly put this together. It's a crazy film that I do recommend. I didn't talk that much about it because I haven't seen it in quite a while, but I do remember enough to say yes, to definitely check it out. So that's it for the first installment of We Belong Dead's Mystery Box. I hope somehow you were able to enjoy this. Let's cover up that glare. Stay tuned for more videos. If you want to see more like this, let us know. That's cool. We're going to do them anyway because as nervous and raw and shoddy as this was, it was a lot of fun. So I would like to do this and get better at it. Check us out on Facebook, We Belong Dead Podcast. On Instagram, we're at We Belong Dead Pod. On Instagram, I am at lonomojo, I believe. Ian is at IMM1987. All this will be in the description. And yeah, if you dig this, give us a thumbs up, give us a follow. There's going to be more to come. Definitely not just these reviews, but some other fun stuff that we're planning for YouTube. And thanks for tuning in. And maybe next time you'll even see more than just my fat hands. Who knows? But as we say at the end of every podcast, until next time, please remember to raise a glass to a new world of gods and monsters.